Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar today. We're just about to get started now in a minute or two, so please bear with us, and we'll be getting going. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, nearly 10 o'clock. So with me this morning, myself is Kieran Kirk. I'm General Manager with IMGS, and with me today is Aditya Dote, who is Data Pre-Sales Engineer with IMGS.
Hello everyone, good morning.
So this morning we're going to speak about data quality using Talend, and Talend is an IMGS our gold partner for Talend in Ireland, and has been for over 2.5 years now. And Talend are a market leader in the provision of data management and data integration solutions. So we're just going to get going now. So what we're seeing today is this. There's team seems to be coming up here on this logo on everything for some reason. Yeah, that's it now. After that, yeah, minimize that, just so you don't see teams the whole time. There we go. So we have a data challenge. So in the current market, there are unrelenting expectations. So we're seeing increasing data volumes, increasing data types, increasing sources. So the days of just one data set or one type of data set is kind of gone. And increasing use cases. People are trying to do more and more with data. And also more and more people want to be able to use data. On top of that, there is unprecedented innovation. So we're now seeing new cloud platforms, new types of databases. So no longer are we just talking, SQL relational databases. We're now talking NoSQL databases. We're talking things like Hadoop, or big data warehouses, and we're also seeing a drive for real-time data processing. So and also now with the advent of things like machine learning and artificial intelligence, we're seeing really changes in what we can do with information and how we can analyze it, how we can fix it, and how we can improve it. And on top of that, the biggest cause of sensor and growth in information is the Internet of Things. So we're seeing a massive explosion of data coming through sensors, and this is all driving massive change. So Talend are at the front of this change and at the front of this data management, and have over 1,500 customers worldwide. So from people like Michelin to Ticketmaster to Domino's to Lenovo. So some great references in how people are using data and data analytics to actually gain a competitive advantage and improve their processes and in essence improve their bottom line. So with Talend, we've one single unified platform. That platform covers cloud and big data integration. So for any kind of integration of data, so Talend has supports over 900 different connectors into different information, so we can power the flow of data from one area to another. Also with Talend, it comes with an API and application integration solution as well, so that you can build your APIs, build your web services without needing to do programming. So a very innovative solution there. Talend also provides the ability to do master and metadata management. So once you start understanding your data, then you can drive real value out of your analytics if you understand, where is your customer record information stored, where is your asset record information stored. One of the areas we're going to look at today is data stewardship. So being able to, when you find data quality issues, being able to understand, to fix those data quality issues and provide data back to the business experts to actually answer the issues with the data. We also provide this capability to do data preparation. So being able to provide self-service to analysts to be able to prepare their data before they run it through the analytical process. And all of this from Talend comes under a single unified data platform, which each piece runs modular, but all done through embedded governance and collaboration. So in essence, with today's world, data is key, but it's very important that data is provided to the right people in the right way, and that you don't get breaches and you don't get data governance issues. So a key part of all this integration and all this powering of data is to ensure that the right people can get access to information. Talend, of course, works on all forms of data from on-premise to the cloud, and has full support for Amazon, Azure, and Google. But also now we're seeing the move towards organizations having a hybrid approach towards the cloud. So possibly they're using Office 365 for their Office applications, using Amazon Redshift for storage, and then using Google BigQuery for actually querying, so for querying analytics. So actually this combination or hybrid model is what we're seeing in the industry going forward. So the Talend Data Management Platform allows you to design through a visual GUI to design your integration. As I mentioned already, there are 900 pre-built connectors. The Talend interface allows you to generate Java or SQL. So we run our code natively. And again, if this was on a Hadoop, we'll be running a native Spark. So this means it's fast. It also means it's open, and you're not being locked into a proprietary integration. If you do want to take the code that Talend generates and use it in a different way, you can at a later stage. One of Talend's big strengths is the ability to collaborate and provide a shared repository for all integrations and to provide automatic documentation. So this means that if you are building complex data workflows and you're building them as a team, you can all work together with a single repository. You don't have to leave the application to manage your workflows. One of the areas we want to talk about today is the whole area of data quality and cleansing and profiling. So Talend comes with a complete set of solutions for cleansing your data. So firstly, allowing you to profile how good or bad your data is, then to cleanse, enrich and match, and also then be able to share that metadata. And again, Aditya will show us this morning some of the complete capabilities of Talend. And as I mentioned before, Talend also has a centralized scheduling, monitoring and administration center so that you can publish out the production version of your interfaces, run test versions, run development versions, and handle all this all through a single administration center. And Talend has the ability to run at cluster scale with load balancing and failover, and also the capabilities of code optimization for running at large scale. So again, with this explosion of data, Talend can handle not millions of records, but billions of records, and still be able to scale up optimally. So with Talend, you can liberate your data by putting more than 100 times that data to work, by being able to automate the data lifecycle and operationalize higher volumes and complexity of data. I think we've got starlings nesting outside our office. I think you can hear that in the background. I'm not sure where they've come from, but they're here. Also with Talend, you can have governed self-service. So I've mentioned this already. Being able to provide the data to the people who need it in a governed manner. So being able to allow them to do their analytics, to view the data, but only see the data that they've got the rights to see, and not just to open up web services or open up, dumps of data to Excel or CSV that people can then clone and copy and then maybe end up on a USB disk at some organization or somewhere where it shouldn't be. With Talend, as mentioned already, we can optimize performance. So it means that you're a fundamentally lower cost. So with using Talend, you can do 100 times more with your data at the same budget. And being able to unlock the data from the infrastructure. So data is managed independent of infrastructure, no lock-in and continual refresh. So again, no matter what format your data is in, we can get that data out and then use it and still continue. We're not saying that you have to change your underlying infrastructure. We're not coming in saying to use Talend, you must move to SQL, or you must move to Mongo or Hadoop. You can reuse all your data in its current silos, but then take advantage of the current and all the future changes in analysis and data initiatives by being able to get that data out of the silos and into where you want to use. We always run our code native, so you can realize new speed and cost structure. So again, never requires proprietary infrastructure, and it's all built for modern IT. So born for the multi-cloud, hybrid, Internet of Things, exabyte data structures. So with Talend, the basic product is Talend Studio, which has an intuitive drag and drop environment where you can build your integrations. As you can see on the right-hand side, you have all the different formats that it can connect to, and then you just build, like any ETL tool, you build your workflow from left to right, take data from the source, do something with it, and push it out. And as you can see from the bottom there, we have our code export. So when you create your components, you will see the code that creates. That's also very useful because you can actually go in if the Talend component that was provided, you can go in and edit that component in the code and add your own capability to it and then save it as a reusable component. And then all that can be handled through the interface. So when the interface is a job and business designer, it's a graphic assistant, generates the code and has over 900 available components. And because Talend is built on an open source technology stack, it's very quick for it to adopt to new data sets, to new data types of data. You can very easily get new connectors into new data at the touch of a button. The advantages of Talend Studio over hand coding is about 30% increase compared to hand coding, and allows you to build integration logic tests and increases knowledge reusability. Because of with Talend Studio having its in-built versioning and collaboration system, you can have better team sharing of work. So we have a shared repository where it can be shared by all stakeholders, all items are versioned, and you can get back to any version of your code easily. So again, this increases reusability, which cuts down your coding costs and your developer operation costs, and it means a clearer communication across development teams, and then therefore less duplicate work through better visibility of projects and jobs. So Talend Administration Center has a web-based interface where you can configure and manage users and assign and revoke privileges, and where you can manage the configuration and deployment of jobs. It has a monitoring system so you can track what's going on, so it's eclipsed and web-based, and provides a centralized view for messages, warnings, and errors. And then you're able to schedule and monitor your workflows. And this whole Talend platform architecture, because it's all under one hood, you've got the job server where you can run your jobs, with the execution server. We also use Nexus as the code and metadata repository, and then use Git for the code as well, for this code, and the Nexus for the generated code. So that means it's all under one hood. You don't have to leave the application, and that speeds up developer operation time. With Talend Data Quality, again, we have a direct access to data source and complete and extensible controls in open source. So with Talend, we can access both structured, unstructured, and multi-structured data. So again, with the explosion of things like JSON and XML, we can bring that data in and view it against normal relational data. So you can actually view across and then get to that golden record, which we're going to try and show this morning. And then from there, we can standardize your data and match it up. Also with the data, we've enrichment, so we can join up to 900 connectors. So not only take the data from the sources, but move it and then put it into new values. And then monitor data as an ongoing task. A lot of organizations might do a data quality project as a one-off, and then come back to it months later again and try and do it again. That's not how we do it with Talend. We look to, with data quality, having an ongoing process. So you're measuring, analyzing, and improving data always. So that if a certain department or if a certain system is continuing to create bad data, Talend will report upon that, and then you can action it and make sure it's fixed. And that means when we operationalize that, becomes data quality in motion. So we then have data quality services to ensure high quality data all the time. So in the data quality tools inside Talend, we can identify quickly data quality problems, produce statistics, pattern, correlation, and reconciliation analysis, generate Talend jobs directly from the profiling perspective. So if we see that there is bad data or data that's failing our data quality analysis, we can push that data, either that it doesn't get pushed out to a warehouse, or it's pushed to another system to be fixed, or as I did here this morning, that is pushed to the Stewardship app, where you're going to ask the business to actually comment or fix or curate the bad data. With Talend, you can also generate dashboards available from the data quality portal, and then help collaborate the profiling process. And all these data quality rules can be shared across your data integration. So once you build these data quality rules, you can use them as part of any data integration. So you may be doing your data quality profiling as part of a migration project. So you're going to take a heap of data and push it into a new system. So the first thing you're going to do is do data quality analysis on the source data. And then when that's done, you can use those data quality rules in the migration scripts. Or if you're doing a data warehousing project, where you're bringing data from a number of systems to populate a data warehouse for, say, business intelligence or analytics, again, you can use Talend data quality to analyze the source data set and then use those rules before you publish it into the data warehouse. And with Talend Data Quality, it means that you can then generate high quality information, all done using data governance. So we can explore, profile, and monitor data, parse, cleanse, and standardize and enrich it, and then match and certify the data. So when it is published, people can understand that this is good data. And allows you to map any data source to your business contacts. So, what customer products, assets, organization locations. And the benefit is you have more accurate information, so that when you are running your analytics, you're getting good answers, not bad data. I've mentioned a few times about self-service and data stewardship and data preparation. So with Talend, we provide self-service and data citizens. So data collaboration tools that data analysts and IT will love. With Talend Data Preparation, it provides freely access, cleanse, and enrich data in minutes, not hours. And then with stewardship, it allows you to fix, merge, and certify data. So the subtle difference between preparation and stewardship is data preparation doesn't fix or doesn't affect source data. Data stewardship provides a controlled manner to update source data, update or approve. So with data preparation, if you want, you can let an analyst change their data before they use it in their BI or in their reporting, but they're not changing the source. So you're allowing them to tidy up on the data before they use it, but doing it in a governed manner. With stewardship, you are providing the ability to fix source data. So with data prep, it allows self-service data access, and cleansing and integration, and it provides enterprise scale through the data Talend Data Fabric. It allows collaboration again across teams, and data usage, IT governance with full data security. So again, you're only providing them the data that they're supposed to see, and only allow them to change what they want to change for their own report, not changing the source. So you can add the ad hoc data preparation into fully managed data integration processes. So when those rules or recipes are created in Talend Data Preparation, the IT can bring them back and apply them on the full data set as part of integration. So when the next data is run into the next flow of data warehouse, that information can use the recipe that the business analyst has already provided. And this is all big data ready and works with things like Salesforce, Amazon, and Hadoop. But today, and actually just on the data preparation, if you are interested in more on that, we do have a previous webinar where we went through data preparation, and it's on our website, so you can see that. But today we're going to focus on data quality and data stewardship. So data stewardship engages everyone for data quality, not just the data stewards. It provides a point-and-click approach for curation and certification. So again, if you want somebody to say, yes, these records are correct and can be published to our website, you can use data stewardship for that. It also then allows you to do campaigns and arbitration and grouping and merging of data. So again, today the team at the webinar was providing that one golden record. So if you know that there's 3 records, maybe you have 1 record coming from your asset data system, 1 record coming from your GIS, and another coming from another asset system, but you want a single view of the asset. The stewardship app allows you to specify which columns from which record are going to be used with the golden record. It uses a thing called Survivorship, where you can define which columns survive the process and become that gold record. And of course, because no matter how good of machine learning or AI tools you can use to fix data, there will always be that 5 or 10% that need that human intervention. And data stewardship provides that ability to provide human intervention to correct data, but in an easy to use manner, and again, governed. You know who makes a change when, and you're providing it to the right people who actually have the information to make the update. And with that, there's a full audit and track of all the resolutions, so you know who changed what when. So now I've talked a lot, so I'm going to hand over to Didier, who is going to take us through a demonstration of data quality and stewardship.
Again, for the highlights of the Talend tool. So as you already mentioned a lot of things, but we would like to cover 2 things here, like data preparation and data quality. So as you mentioned, that with data preparation we can, with data profiling, we can see where the problem lies, what inconsistent data we have, and and then basically profile it on a tabular basis, on a columnar, at a columnar level or a database level as well. So the other thing that you mentioned about data quality is we talk about data in motion or the data quality in motion. So basically, what do we mean by that? We don't want a one-off basically cleanup or quality check on the data, but it should be a integrated and continuous process so that your data keep your data is up to date and consistent across all your systems and databases. So on a similar line, we have a kind of a hypothetical scenario, but which is like very relevant in the industry. So what we have today is a telecom system. So basically, so we'll be showcasing two databases. So if I can show you here, the one is CIF and the other one is CRM. So the idea is that we know that the system updates overnight as to what are the new customers that have been joining our telecom service, and simultaneously the system updates CIF database and CRM database. So here we are treating CRM database as our golden database or the golden record. So you can see that we have all the customers with their customer type, whether they are prospect customers or they are customers or they are beneficiaries. And the CIF, what CIF database has is basically the new customers that have been enrolled overnight or basically in last few days, and the system has updated those in the CIF database. So to start with, let's see how we can how we can analyze as to what the state of the system as far as data is concerned. So what we want is that both our databases are consistent and should basically reflect the same level of granularity when it comes to data. So the first thing that I would like to do is I'll run a profiler on this on the two systems. So here you can see that this is my Talend integration application. Basically, this is desktop tool that I have, and there are two perspectives, one for integration and one for profiling and data quality. So I have switched to a data profiling perspective. And what I am doing is I am running a report which is basically a profiling report on two of the databases that we are will be kind of discussing. One is CIF and the CRM. Now the idea is that the first thing in the morning you come and someone kind of generates a report as to, okay, if the records have been updated, if both the databases in the system have been updated, are they consistent with each other? Are they having the same data, or is there any discrepancy? So I think
and if somebody was doing a data warehouse project, or they could be taking this data at the end of the week before they run it, before they push it, or data warehouse, they could run the report to see, well, actually, are we putting in good data or bad data?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So I have run this report. So if you can see that, so basically, if you can see what I have done is I have basically profiled my columns which are in CIF database and then CRM database, and to see how many active customers we have. So for example, like the total 318 customers are supposed to be active, and that's what it's showing in the CIF database. And the same report I have generated on the CRM database. So what CRM has basically, like as I already told you, that the CRM database, basically the golden record that we have, will have prospect, customer, or the beneficiary. So if I can show you the report, so what again it shows that 290 are basically the customers, and rest are 710 are either beneficiary or prospect customers. So we can clearly see that there is a mismatch. So what we basically want is that both our database are in sync. So all the customers that are active in the CIF, which is 318, should be reflecting here. So rather than 290, it should be 318. So we now know that there is a discrepancy, that somehow system updated the CIF database but not the CRM database. So what we want is that they are in sync. So again, with the help of data profiling and the data quality reports, it's like really easy to kind of understand what's wrong rather than going into database and checking it manually. And these reports basically we can generate like every single day or at whatever time of the day you prefer based on the system. So as we have now seen that there is some discrepancy. So now let's go into the database and kind of clean it. So basically now this is, I'll go to my integration perspective again. And what I have done is I have created two simple jobs. What I want is before we kind of get a clear database, what I have in my CIF customer tables are these active customers. So we'll see some of the data quality features or the components with which you can clean your data so that you have a uniform and kind of a consistent relational tables going forward. So you can see that what I will be doing now is basically, so if you can see that these are the customer names, so you can see that there are a lot of mismatch in the aliases that we have. So now the idea is even the columns are column doesn't have a column name since it's like an overnight process and it might be dumping just a CSV file into the system. So what I have generated is two-step workflow. The first one, what it does is it simply passes the name and split it on the page, and it then creates 3 additional columns and put it into a new table in the customer table in the CIF database. And the second one is standardize the title. So as I have told you, these titles, these are not consistent. So let's run these two workflows. So again, what I have done is these are 2 different workflows, but I have kind of combined them or joined them together in a single workflow. So I'll basically run it. So again, if I can show you, so okay, so this is the first one which passes the name. So it's a data quality component. What it does is it basically splits your fields and then creates another table called custom_new with new
3 columns
with new additional columns.
Yeah.
And the second one which standardize the title. So what I have is, so this is again a data quality component. So what I am doing is I am finding all the personal titles which are not as per my title list or the basically semantic library I have with me, that okay, these are the valid titles that we should have. It again then it filters only the invalid rows, and there I have a CSV file basically which has all the valid titles, and then I am kind of replacing all the invalid titles with the valid ones. So as we have, so
what happens if there's one that's not in your source list?
Okay, so what I have done as of now, even if it's not in the source list, it will go into the table. Like, okay, since we need that record, it will go. But again, what we can do is someone can manually come and we can have another flow here which will go to a data stewardship, or we can push it into a
we're going to tidy up as many as possible with the system. We'll set up a few that might have to need human intervention at some point. Yeah.
So since the job has run, so this is my custom_new table. So we can see that what we have now is kind of a consistent titles, and we have column names in proper format, and we have basically split first name and last name. So this is one of a kind of a cleanup that we have done on this table, but then based on the use case and the requirement, there are, as you already mentioned, there are 900 plus components, so definitely.
Yeah, but even straight away, like you now have first names, so if you're doing a nail shot or something, you can address the person as Kieran or Lydia. But again, and that's why you've actually added improved data set already on the course. And how did we get the names? So we know the zip code there knows it's a zip code. Is that using standardized because it's done a semantic analysis on the code that figures out that's the zip code?
No, it's as of now it's manual. Like I know that these columns corresponds to these names.
Okay.
So that's why I have put it. But again, like we also have functionality where if somewhere a zip code is missing, but we know the address, so we can search using a Google address encoder, and we can just fire it up and see what the zip code are. But as of now, I knew that okay, this column corresponds to a zip code. So
But I do think we have in
yes, definitely we have. So semantic analysis. So based on that, it can identify which column has which kind of data. For example, it can identify that these are addresses, these are email IDs. Or you can basically define your own semantic library based on your regex rules. So basically, you can define your own set of rules on a set of strings, and then you can create your own semantic library as well. So moving forward now, since we have a cleaner CIF data base now, so and And now we know that, the discrepancy exists. So what I am doing, the next thing is, I created this job. What it does is, it will identify all those records which are in the CIF database, treating them as active, but are not in active state in CRM database. So the idea is that now the data discrepancy exists, and someone needs to come and manually kind of clean it or manually validate it. For example, a customer manager might have the authority to change the status of a customer or change the status of a say subscriber in the CRM system. So definitely, like, not all of the IT guys should have access. So the idea is that a customer manager has that authority to kind of manually come and change the data, so that we have consistent records throughout. So I'll run this workflow. So what it's doing is, again, it's identifying all the records which are inconsistent, and it's putting it through to a customer manager, which is a data steward basically, and he can then see on his front end as to how many records are inconsistent and need a validation. So if I go to my data stewardship application, now this is a web-based page that I am accessing, and if I refresh it, so now the idea is that I am a steward and I am a validator as well. So since we have pushed those 28 records, so you can see that there were 28 records which were not consistent in both the systems, and you can see that there are unassigned 28 tasks. So this is the task that we will be kind of completing today. So verify customer status. So what I am doing is, I am seeing how many are the unassigned tasks. So these are the 28 tasks, and what I'll do is I'll quickly assign it to a data steward. So here I'll treat myself as a steward, so that I'll be coming and basically validating the phase of these records. So I have assigned them.
Yeah, because I suppose in a lot of organizations you'd have one administrator who's assigned out to multiple stewards. It'd be very rare that you'd have a single steward and single administrator. But and of course there's always going to be that decision as to, well, here's the data integration job has found 5,000 records that are wrong, and then somebody has to go down and say, well, actually it's the guy in Dundalk who knows these records, it's the guy in Belfast knows the other ones, and that's what I can say. That's really handy.
Yeah. So since I have assigned tasks to myself, so I will now go as a validator here. I have logged in, and you can see that basically this is the data inconsistency that we have. So basically this customer type should be a customer rather than a prospect in CRM, because they are active in CIF. So now as a customer manager, I have the authority to kind of change the status of them. So so basically this, as Karen already highlighted, the difference between a data preparation and data steward. So data steward the data preparator can't change the data. But a steward, basically as a steward, I am changing the data at the source level itself. So again, I have selected this customer type column, and again this is pretty handy front end, where you will get a lot of option to manipulate the data that you have. So what I am doing is search for prospect and basically just replace it with customer. That I have checked it as a customer manager. I have checked it that these 28 are active customers, and they should be basically their customer type should be a customer in the CRM. And
again, we done it just for the speed of the demo. We got them all. But actually, probably a steward would take the ones that he's going through and do the search and replace and check, and then in some cases he might turn around and say, no, I'm not doing that one because it is a prospect, and I know it's a prospect. I need to push that back and say they shouldn't be a customer because we haven't sold them. Definitely. So it's just and again, all those tools on the side. So see the semantic analysis applied again. It's figuring out the data. But we've also got things where we can then, again, analyze the information, spit out data, tidy it up, or do whatever we need to do to the record. And of course, you've also got the survivorship ability there as well, where if we two records the same, we could say, well, take the customer name or the prospect name, from SIF or CRM and use it.
Definitely. There. So I have changed their type, and basically what I'll do now is mark these tasks as ready to be submitted. So you can see that all these are now logged for validation. So I'll validate it. So basically what we have done is we have changed their customer type. So once this task is done, what I'm doing is I'm again running another task. Now this workflow, what it does is basically, gets all the resolved tasks from a data steward, and it again updates the CRM table against the merged one. And also it runs the data quality report. So initially we ran it manually from a profiler, but we can kind of configure the same report in our, basically data integration tool. So rather than someone going manually and doing it, we can basically automate it, and it will run it automatically every time the workflow runs. So hopefully now what should have is, so we have cleaned the CRM table, and what we expect that both of our databases are consistent. So I'm just letting this report run. So the report uses the basically Jasper reported, and these are basically Jasper XML format. And the good thing is basically you can modify a report as per your need. So even that functionality is also available. You can configure based on. So I think now the report is generated. Now we can see that these are the 318 from the CIF database, and this is the CRM database. So again, now it's showing that 318 rather than 290 that we had before. So now it says that okay, CRM and CIF are both consistent. So again, you don't have to kind of go and manually check into the database and querying it. You can just get a clear report, and you can get it. So again, what I have done is not only that, we can have an evolutionary report where Talend basically automatically stores your prior data and the report, and again every time you run it, it will give you based on the time trend that based on the
getting right or getting worse.
So if you can see that I have basically ran it before on 3rd of May, and then we had a long weekend. So this is 7th of May.
So you aren't trying this over the weekend, no?
Oh no. So, but anyway, so what again you can see here is, so basically in CRM we had 3 different types of customer. One was the beneficiary customer and the prospect. So now it basically shows that you can see that there's a time difference. So there were 290 active customers, and now what we have is 328 of them. So 318, sorry. So basically using data quality reports like this, it's kind of easier, and with the help of stewardship, what you have is a data quality on motion rather than a one-off process that every single day or
Yes, because again, like the stewardship could be executed every week. So once you've done your big data cleanup and you get your data going, the data quality in motion kicks in, that actually when someone hasn't updated the CRM or hasn't updated the CIF that week, they'll be notified in their area to say, actually, you need to update your system. And that way you're never getting to the stage where you have like a big data quality issue. You're always only a few days out. And then the people who are fixing the data, will learn, because if you keep getting prompted with the data stewardship, you're going to get sick of that and start doing it at source. And then or separately, the management can actually start turning around and saying, well, actually, there's an area here that we need to either change the source system because it's just not allowing the right capture of data, or change the processes and start telling people to do their data quality properly.
Definitely. So I think that was a small kind of a demo on as to how we can put data profiling and data stewardship together. So to have a data quality in motion. So I think that's all from my end.
Just click on the PowerPoint there. So again, just to finish up the slide, so why Talend? So Talend is a native solution. So the Talend code is not proprietary. As you see, it generates native Java and SQL code. It's open. So Talend is committed to open source and open standards. So there's no vendor lock-in or black box, and you can leverage existing skill sets. So actually, if you have existing SQL code or Java code, you can actually build that into the flow line and integrate it and enhance it. It's a single platform, so you can consistently reuse and leverage resources, speed up implementation, and enables incremental adoption. I think a big thing today is like in a very short webinar, like in 40 minutes, we've shown you the tools for doing some good data quality profiling, also in how to integrate your data sets, and even some of the things we haven't shown that is capabilities in Talend, where you can use things like machine learning and educating the integration flow lines to actually automatically fix data. So where data can be fixed, where we can do data cleanup, or we can use, as Lydia mentioned, use a regular expression. So if there's a typo in a name or in an asset type, to switch it. And then when all this technology doesn't actually hit that last 5%, we can then get people involved to actually fix the information. Big area with Talend is it's also predictable. So the pricing model is predictable. So with some systems, there's a worry that if you put too much data through it, you might get a smash or an increased price because you ran through your pricing. No, with Talend, it's subscription pricing. Also, you pay per developer. So you're not paying by CPU, you're not paying by, if you do stand up, a very, very big system and you want to have lots of servers and all that kind of thing, you're not going to get penalized by Talend. Also then, there's no additional cost for the adapters, you can use all them through the open source. So we are slightly coming to an end. Just check with Tanya, is there any other questions that have come in? Or?
No other questions. I think everything that people have were answered today, yeah.
Okay, well, I'd just like to thank Aditya and Tanya for their support this morning. I hope you found the webinar useful. There will be another webinar with Talend next quarter. We haven't decided what it will be yet, but Aditya will be playing with something, and we will show it to you. If you do have any questions on anything you've seen, please contact us. You can email myself at ckirk@imgs.ie. So I thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.